All right, back here, third quarter action. Barnes going to pick up the kickoff, and he is going to get wedged in between the 30 and 35-yard line.
16-yard line out to about the 30. Ball marked at the 32-yard line. Stop was made by number 32, Taken Freeman.
So we are looking forward to 2 weeks from tonight, or 2 weeks from last night actually. Tascasita, number 7 versus number 1 North Shore. So North Shore still has to take care of business tonight. So here we go. Nice wheel route there to the tight end, 89. 89 going to kind of have the legs kipped from under him. So that's going to be number 89. It'll be Caleb Thomas, the 6'4", 220-pound junior receiver. So great job there. So trips flanked to the near side, one flanked out to the far side. Amador with Rashad Johnson is going to hit 89 once again. And he is going to break the red zone and kind of get inside the 10. So it's going to bring up a 1st and goal. So they go 2 times in a row to 89. That's Caleb Thomas. So like I said, if you're 6'4", you're 220 pounds and you're only a junior, this is the kind of athletes that you're seeing across the board for North Shore. So Rashad Johnson flanked to his right, Twins flanked out to the far side, one on the inside, hand the ball off. Johnson going in for the touchdown. So literally a whole minute has elapsed, and we've already seen 2 times that Rashad Johnson has actually been able to hit pay dirt. So great job there by Rashad Johnson. Like I said, his nickname within North Shore is Baby Bo. So reminiscent of Bo Jackson. Like I said, there's quite a bit of running backs that he kind of reminds me of overall. So 80 actually going to hit it up and good. That's going to be Carlos Dominguez, the 5'10", 185-pound senior kicker. So they have Dominguez and Soto. So pretty strong overall kickers that they have. They have 2 very accomplished and seasoned kickers. So pretty nice to have that at your disposal.
After the play, dead ball, personal foul, number 54, defense. That penalty is on the kickout. Extra point good.
So 42-7. So 6 touchdowns here by North Shore. So you want to go through this story here overall. So I believe Hardiman has 1, Johnson has 2, so that's 3. And the other 3 are Amador to Barnes. So Barnes is responsible for 3 touchdown grabs, and he had that highlight reel that wasn't a touchdown, but equally as impressive. He had kind of an OBJ, so Odell Beckham Jr. style one-handed grab that he was able to pull off towards the end of the second quarter. So trying to see who they have out now. That's going to be 80, so it looks like that's going to be Dominguez. So they kind of alternate between Dominguez and Soto. So this is Dominguez. So Dominguez actually the senior, Soto the sophomore. So Dominguez going to kick a low liner. That's going to hit the grass / synthetic turf. Going to be about the 10-yard line. So Westbrook is going to have a lot of real estate to go overall. So we got Roy Jenkins operating from his own 10-yard line, so deep in their own territory. Twins flanked on either side. One running back flanked to his left / slightly behind him. Jenkins going to hand it off to him. And he is going to get a few yard gain, trying to take out the number, or try to make out the number, mind you, and that looks like that's going to be number 4. That'd be Darius Simeon, the 6'0", 185-pound running back. Okay, so Jenkins 10, 15, and some change. Clock continues to run. Jenkins going to go RPO, going to hand the ball off to 4. So we're definitely seeing a lot more of Jenkins. So we saw earlier in the game they were kind of alternating between Parkerson and Jenkins. And like we said earlier, so Amador, the third-string quarterback. So Darius Garland in a boot, and Bailey, unfortunately, in crutches. So both their first and second string quarterbacks are out of this game overall. So Amador, third string wide quarterback. I did talk to some people within the program, and they were telling me that Amador kind of was going back and forth with Bailey as Jenkins throws that incomplete and double or triple coverage. But talking about Amador, so Amador was competing for the starting quarterback job last year. That's probably why you see Amador with more of a quarterback number. And then Caleb Bailey showed out last year. Bailey became the quarterback, the heir apparent per se, for North Shore. For his freshman campaign, he quarterbacked them to an undefeated record, I believe, as well as a state title against Duncanville. And the rest is history. So Evan Jackson, number 3, going to get the punt. Still about the 45, but there is a flag on the play. So Evan Jackson going to get to about the 46 or 47. We're going to see what the flag is going to be called for. So legal block in the back. Return team says to me on Stephen Tejeda, the 5'6", 165-pound junior DB. So they're going to bring it back. So they were closer to midfield. Now they are at their own, let's say, 38-yard line. So Amador and company with, I believe, Hardiman's flanked behind him. Amador going to roll out against his body, and he's going to hit Barnes in stride. And, of course, that was Bailey's number 1 receiver, as is Amador's number 1 receiver. When you have the speed to burn that Barnes has, you definitely have to try to get the football every which way you can. And that's exactly what they are doing. Like we said, Caleb Thomas, who's essentially playing as a receiver. He's built more like a tight end. He's flanked out as trips on the far side, one on the near side. So Amador going to go for a slightly home run ball, and he is going to hit number 84, and that is going to be Cameron Smith, 6'2", 180-pound sophomore receiver and stride. So ball is going to be in the middle of the hash marks. Let's call it at the 27-yard line. So Amador and company with Hardiman flanked behind him. RPO going to hand off to Hardiman. Hardiman with a little bit of room. So great job there by the offensive line of kind of opening up some holes for Hardiman. So Amador, number 8, he is looking at the sideline. So like we had mentioned earlier, so Amador, 3-star recruit. Receiver is what he'll be listed as officially for college prospect purposes. He verbally committed to UTSA, the Roadrunners down the road in San Antonio. So Amador rolling it, like I said, against his body. Oh, That would have been another highlight reel for Rashad Johnson. Or sorry, 89, Caleb Thomas. But Thomas and Johnson, build-wise, are built very similarly. Caleb just a little bit taller than Rashad Johnson, but just looking at it really fast, I thought it might have been Rashad, but that was Caleb Thomas. So Amador with Hardiman flanked behind him. Like I said, Hardiman is a sophomore. Twins flanked on the near side. RPO gonna hit Caleb Thomas. So like I said, they've been going very heavy. Caleb Thomas this time around. I'm thinking what could be the reason for that is the defense is really keen on Barnes. So Barnes already burned him for 3 touchdowns in that first half, so they might be double covering. Like I said, number 29, that's going to be Shadrick Johnson, the 5'6", 150-pound DB, has really been getting torched, unofficially speaking. So Amador with Hardiman flanked behind him. RPO going to head off to Hardiman. Hardiman going to get towards the 5. So they are on the near hash. So this is going to bring up a 3rd down opportunity, most likely very close to the potential for a 1st down. So it looks like the ball's going to be placed at the 6. So it's going to be, actually, they are now going to call it first. So this will be 1st and goal situation. 6-yard line, near hash. We have 1 wide receiver flanked. Now 2 flanked to the near side. Caleb Thomas with his hand on the ground. Twins flanked to the far side, so Amador. So Barnes literally, like I said, he literally has gloves for hands as Amador kind of threw it up there, and I wasn't sure that Barnes was going to be able to bring it down because Barnes is listed at 5'8", but Barnes with some hops on him, and like I said, gloves for hands. I'm sure, myself as a broadcaster, I'm 6'3", but I'm sure Barnes has hands my size or larger. So you always hear about DeAndre Hopkins, who used to play for the Texans before Bill O'Reilly decided to burn his own bridge and trade him away. But we always hear of DeAndre Hopkins on how impressive, like the size of his hands. So that's a really good kind of skill set / something you're born with. Dare I say God-given, that a lot of the top wide receivers have that regardless of their height. They really have some gloves for hands, and it definitely feels like Barnes has that in his repertoire. So Javen Anderson, number 7, 6'1", 205-pound senior. He actually was named homecoming king during halftime. So he had to run, put the sash as well as his king kind of headset. He had to drop that off in the locker room and go back in and play. So here we go. This looks like now we're back to Soto. Like I said, there's no last names on the back. They all have East Side. So represent the East Side of Houston. They're going to kick it to 1 about the 4 on the inside. Ooh, and 6 just basically lays the wood. And that's going to be Devin Sanchez, 6'2", 170-pound sophomore. So like I said earlier, a lot of sophomores and a lot of juniors here on the north side overall thick of things. So we have Hardiman, I believe. Barnes is a junior. Gilroy is a junior. Devin Sanchez is a sophomore. And then Bailey, of course, when he returns next year from his leg injury, he'll be a junior next year. So you're really seeing a lot of juniors and sophomores on the squad. Of course, Javen Anderson is a senior, as is, I believe, Rashad Johnson as well. But still, so Jenkins out of the gun. Picked off by the homecoming king, Javen Anderson. So the homecoming king, Javen Anderson, going in untouched. So great job there. So phenomenal play there by Javen Anderson. So Javen Anderson, just doing a great job overall. So as a safety, you're playing more center field. and you're basically you're keying in there, and Jenkins will have to look at the tape this year to be prepared for North Shore next year. So great job overall. You see down there, Javen Anderson giving a hand slap to Bailey, and that is going to be an extra point in there. So with the score now 55-7, it is all North Shore Mustangs from the onset. So 48-point advantage. So you'd almost venture to say that is now 56-7, 49-point advantage, which means a full 7-touchdown advantage for North Shore. So what I learned about Texas is Texas does not have the mercy rule. So myself as a broadcaster, I come from the state of Colorado. Colorado has the mercy rule. So I believe it's 40 points for 11-man in Colorado, and then for 8 and 6-man, I believe it's 45-point advantage. So in Colorado, once you have a 45-point advantage in 6 or 8-man, the clock continues to run, whereas in 11-man, it's a 40-point advantage. But Texas does not do that. So I was kind of surprised to kind of hear about that rule. So 5:34 to go in this third quarter. It is all North Shore from the onset. So Soto back in with the kicking duties. Kickoff, he's going to do a little squib kick. Going to get fair caught at the 29 by Ryan Babino. 5'8", 190-pound DB.
Ball marked at the 30-yard line.
So Jenkins, shotgun formation. Twins flanked on the near side, one flanked to the far side. They were at their own 29-yard line. Jenkins just handing the ball off to 4, and 4 getting about a 4 or 5 yard gain. So like I said, Jenkins, you definitely see the potential. He has a great, kind of a big size offensive line overall, especially for a team that is 0-6 for the season. But Jenkins, with the rest of this year as well as 2 more potential years up in his belt, you can tell that he refines his craft. A great tight spiral, long range home run type of throws. So Jenkins going to hand the ball off to 4, and he is going to get stuffed at the line by about 4 or 5 North Shore Mustangs.
Defense led by number 48 for the Mustangs.
So under 5 minutes to go, 56-7 is the score with the North Shore Mustangs on top. So we're going to try to see if we can get Spring Lions in Spring, Texas, probably at Planet Ford Stadium. They're leading Aldine MacArthur by a score of 34-0. So number 10 calling his own number, and they are going to bring him back in the ballgame. That is going to be Jalen Parkerson, the 5'9", 185-pound running back, who also does quarterback duties. So he does a nice long run, and they bring Jenkins back. So it's kind of reminiscent from what I had seen Denver Broncos. Like I said, I'm from Colorado, so I'll say a Colorado example. But Denver Broncos in the mid-'90s, I think Elway was hurt for this season, so they had Tommy Maddox, who is more of a traditional passer, like drop step, if not shotgun formation. You didn't see as much shotgun back then. And then you had Moore, and I believe he played for the Virginia Cavaliers. So Sean Moore. So it was yin and yang with Sean Moore and Tommy Maddox, and now you're kind of seeing a little bit of this in 2022 for Westbrook between Jenkins and Parkerson. So Jenkins out of the gun. Twins, now it'll be trips flanked to the near side. One on the far side of the field. One trying to take. So great job there by one. That's Terrell the third Smith. So usually usually you're taught as a ball carrier, unless you're like Barry Sanders, you don't want to do as much east-west running, because when you do east-west running, you're burning a lot of energy, but two, you have the potential to lose yards. You want to do more north and south, but actually this kind of paid off for the third Smith. So Terrell, the third Smith, the 5'10", 175-pound junior, I believe, actually got near the first down. So it's going to be 3rd and about 2. They're back to Parkerson. So Parkerson going to call his own number. Ooh, brought down hard by the big edge rusher. That's actually, I believe, 2 edge rushers. I think it's hard to pull out the numbers. 48 and 45. That is going to be not really able to see 48. So let's just say it's 49. Jadarian Williams and Caleb Kane. So great job there by North Shore. Going to bring out a 4th and 2. 56-7 is the score. It has been all North Shore from the onset. So Jenkins out of the gun. They are in North Shore territory about the 43-yard line. Jenkins going to get rocked hard by number 37. That's going to be Brian Sanders, the 5'11", 185-pound junior linebacker. So as good of a first half as Jenkins had passing, it looks like they did a very good job. You got to give a lot of credit to the defensive coordinator for North Shore, as they made quite a bit of adjustments. It's not like to say that Jenkins was torching him by any stretch of the imagination, but he was having a somewhat decent performance in the first half, and it looks like I said, they made some great adjustments. So now I believe this is the 4th-string quarterback, and they're going to hand the ball off to, I believe, the 4th-string quarterback hands off to the 3rd-string running back, and you're still able to see pretty close to the same result. That's Joseph Hood, I believe, and he's a 5'10", 180-pound senior, I believe.
23-yard gain on our 26-yard line.
So you got 21. That's definitely not a quarterback number whatsoever. That's Chris Thomas, the 5'7", 165-pounder. So like I said, sometimes you'll just see that North Shore is just going to say, hey, let's just bring in the 4th-string quarterback and call it a day here. Trips flank to the near side, going to hand the ball off to 25. And 25 going to get a decent run. Joseph Hood. So like I said, Joseph Hood's not even listed as a running back, nor is Chris Thomas listed as a quarterback. So you're seeing a lot of 2nd, 3rd, and 4th stringers overall, which is nice for them to get a little bit of action. From what I've been told, the JV, as well as most likely the freshman team for North Shore, they're stacked to the gills. So kind of reminiscent of how stacked and deep Nebraska was in their heyday. I remember hearing a story. It was a colleague of mine. He played middle linebacker for Iowa State. It's a Big 12 back in the day. And he said like the 4th-string, 3rd or 4th-string running back gave him a concussion running over him. That's how stacked Nebraska was back in the day. So 21 going to get in between the 20 and 15. That's going to be Chris Thomas. So the score is 56-7, so kind of stretching out that already insurmountable lead is North Shore. So they are on top 56-7. So clock is going to continue to run. So the play clock over 30 and the game clock under 10, that is going to be the end of the 3rd quarter as the clock continues to run, and that is the end of the 3rd quarter. So with a score of 56-7, it is all North Shore. So thank you so much for listening. I will be back next week for a Friday night encounter with North Shore and Humble, the Wildcats, at Turner Stadium, George Turner Stadium in Humble. So thank you so much for listening. 56-7 is the score, end of the 3rd. So I'll be back next week, as well as that heavyweight bout 2 weeks from now with North Shore and Atascocita, also at Turner Stadium. So North Shore are going to have 2 games in a row at Turner Stadium. So thank you so much for listening. If you like my content, please don't hesitate to like and subscribe. Thank you so much, and a fantastic evening here in North Shore. Friday Night Lights at Galena Park ISD.